on consent agenda items will be taken following the announcements of any items being pulled from the consent agenda. Speakers registered on non-consent items other than public hearings and zoning cases will be taken following council announcements. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes to speak on all items within those blocks. Before you begin your comments, please state your name. Thank you.
And good evening and welcome to your Fort Worth City Council meeting. I will call us to order.
Tonight's invocation will be by Pastor Philip Ross from Beth Jeshua. I told you I'd try. Congregational Church. Please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the pledges of allegiance.
Thank you. Honored to be here. If you are willing and would like, I invite you to join me in prayer. But seek the welfare of the city where I have sent you and pray to the Lord on its behalf. For in its peace you will find peace. Gracious and loving God, you are the God who grants wisdom to kings and dominion to rulers. We thank you, Lord, for this city, for the city of Fort Worth. We thank you for our mayor, for our city council members, and for each citizen that's here tonight. Gracious God, you know the needs of this city. You know its challenges. We pray for success. We pray, Lord, that you would grant wisdom to each member of our council. We ask, Lord, that you would give them your guidance, Lord, to lead us in justice and what makes for peace. We thank you for those who serve in our community. We thank you for our fire department, our policemen, Lord, our armed services, and all those and our veterans who have served. We thank you, Lord, for our ISD as well, and for our educators. Give us strength. We thank you. In your name, amen.
Our first items tonight will be special presentations, with the first one being a recognition for the 50th anniversary of Metro Golf Cars.
Thank you, Jeanette. And I will have our friends from Metro Golf Carts join me at the podium down in the middle. I will meet you down there. Okay, Council, this one's exciting. 50th anniversary of Metro Golf Carts. Some very important recognition items here before I turn it over to their general manager, Mr. Ben King. This recognition celebrates 50 years of business for Metro Golf Carts, which is truly incredible. What began in 1974 with an initial investment of $2,000 has turned into a multi-million-dollar business over the past 5 decades. Metro Golf Carts is a family-owned business, distributes to many large North Texas companies, including American Airlines, Lockheed Martin, TCU, Texas Wesleyan University, and those are just to name a few, and is now the largest golf cart dealership in the Southwest. Our families and communities have always been at the heart of Metro Golf Carts business, and that is evident in so many ways that they serve across the city of Fort Worth. And they have long established relationships with customers and the Fort Worth community. They're at the core of Fort Worth Metro's Golf Cars' success as a company. Before I turn it over to Ben, I'll read a few excerpts from our proclamation. I take that back if you don't mind. But I think this is important, and I think there's several council members that will join me in this. Our small businesses are truly at the backbone of our economy, and to take a moment to say thank you for 50 years of service to the Fort Worth community. And all of us have probably called on Metro Golf Carts at various times or another to say, hey, would you step up and do X, Y, and Z? And the answer is always yes. For that, we are incredibly thankful. Whereas, founded in 1974 by H. Wayne King, Metro Golf Cars of Fort Worth is celebrating 50 years of excellence in business, marking a significant milestone of stability, reliability, and trustworthiness in the community. And whereas the continued success of Metro Golf would not have been possible without the unwavering support of their loyal customers through the years, along with the leadership of founder H. Wayne King, wife Beverly Werner, and son Ben King. Together, alongside their family and dedicated staff, they have built and led the largest golf cart dealership in the Southwest, which is truly remarkable. We want to wish them a happy 50th anniversary. Everyone, please applause, and we'll give it over to Ben.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank everyone. We're a proud member of the Fort Worth community, and as you know, we've been for 50 years plus. I'd like to first introduce my brother Nelson King, my sister Laura King Huffstetler, my wife Barbara King, my brother Joel, nephew Nick. I'm the last of 8 kids. I have 33 nephews and nieces. We're not all going to be here. All 8 of us graduated from Everman High School for a long time, so everybody, the Bulldog Nation knew who we were. But no, it's a real honor. I appreciate all of you guys, and a special recognition, Jeanette, appreciate your support of our company. Small businesses, you know, have their challenges, but we're in a great environment and a great place to live, and we're very thankful for all that we have. So thank you all, appreciate the recognition. Thank you, Mayor.
Our next recognition will be recognition to Campfire.
And this one belongs to Councilmember Carlos Flores to celebrate the 110th anniversary of Campfire First Texas.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. And you're right, Mayor Parker, we're celebrating the 110th anniversary of Campfire First Texas, including their 90th anniversary, marking their, Camp Tesoro establishment. So with me here, you know, we have Brian Miller, who's the president and CEO of Campfire First Texas. And we also have flanking him, Mr. Ryan Barrera, who is the chief advancement officer, you know, with the organization. So let me get down to matters and read this special recognition. And it reads, whereas Campfire First Texas was founded in Fort Worth, Texas in 1914 and is located at 2700 Meacham Boulevard in Council District 2. And whereas 2024 marks the 110th anniversary of Campfire First Texas in the city of Fort Worth, as well as the 90th anniversary of Camp El Tesoro, a camp where thousands of Fort Worth children and youth have discovered the joys of nature, developed new skills, made lifelong friendships, and had fun. Whereas Campfire First Texas invests in North Texas communities by providing out-of-school time and outdoor learning programs for children and youth, while also offering workforce development programs for early childhood educators, envisioning a community where every child has equitable access to quality learning opportunities. And whereas Campfire's values emphasize data-informed decision-making, fostering a growth mindset, collaboration, hands-on learning, inclusion, and a whole child approach, while focusing on early childhood and early adolescence, leveraging the impact of outdoor environment to educate and connect children to each other and the world around them. Now, therefore, the city of Fort Worth does hereby recognize the 110th anniversary of Campfire First Texas. And gentlemen, if either of you would like to say some words, we're at your disposal.
Well, on behalf of Campfire First Texas, I'd like to say thank you, Mayor Parker and council members. We are honored to have served the youth of this community for over 100 years. That's a long time. In light of the well-documented challenges our children are facing, I just want to say that Campfire is committed, is working as a partner with our school districts and our nonprofit community to be a part of the solution. So thank you very much.
You gotta stand. There you go.
I'll do something useful. One more. Thanks again, gentlemen.
Our next will be a recognition to the ILT Keller Marine Corps JROTC.
Councilmember Larsdorf.
Thank you, Mayor. So this is a super exciting one for me. Obviously, everyone knows my affiliation with the Marine Corps, but whenever I get to be a stand in the presence of our future leaders, and hopefully one day our future mayors, future councilmen, it's also refreshing knowing that the students behind me many times are more professional than some of the people who join us in these very chambers. So it's nice to have some decorum in here because of you guys. So thank you. So this is what this school is doing and what this Marine Corps JROTC program is doing is not only amazing for our community, but for the future of the city of Fort Worth and again, our future leaders. The recognition they just got, and they're actually showing it off up here, it's only presented to the top 20% of the Marine Corps JROTC programs in the nation. So that alone says a lot, and it's a fairly new program as well. We'll hear about it here in just a second. But because of this designation, it allows the school to nominate 6 cadets to the Naval Academy, 3 to the Air Force Academy, and 3 to West Point. So huge congratulations to you guys on what you did. We know it's no easy feat. Master Sergeant, what you did under your leadership with the school and this program. Your time could be spent elsewhere, but yet you're spending all this time with our students, with our future. We know they're in good hands because of you and your leadership. So thank you for what you continue to do. You served your nation, now you're serving your community, and we certainly appreciate that. So with that being said, the City of Fort Worth special recognition presented to the international leadership of Texas Keller Saginaw High School. It's in Fort Worth. We're working on the name on this one. We got to change it. If it's Dallas Fort Worth, we're dropping that. So we'll get there. In recognition of outstanding dedication to service, leadership, and community engagement, your designation as a Naval Honor School as of September 13, 2024 reflects the exceptional commitment and accomplishments of your cadets. Through countless hours of community service, participation in leadership camps, and excellence in competitions, you have significantly enriched your program and positively impacted your community. This prestigious honor, awarded in your first year of eligibility, opens the door for your cadets to receive nominations to esteemed institutions such as the U.S. Naval Academy, Air Force Academy, and West Point. Your hard work and dedication inspire future leaders who will continue to serve the community and country with honor. Presented on this 15th day of October 2024, Charlie Larsdorf, Councilman District 4, and City of Fort Worth. So thank you so much. Now this you, and would you like to take your words, please?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Cadet Lieutenant Colonel McCree, and I'm proud to be the battalion commander of this year's MCJRTC. With me is our Cadet Major Cancel and our Cadet First Lieutenant Gerard. And we are very honored to have this award. The Isle Texas Keller Saginaw High School MCJRTC has continued to grow and excel during the 2023 and 2024 academic year. This program's steady improvements in participation, service, academic performance, and competitive engagement underscores its value to both the school and the broader community. Those are to include the cadets contributing to a total of 8,824 service hours, averaging 48 hours per student, along with the program hosting 35 public affairs events, and cadets receiving academics award increasing significantly, rising from 40 to 41% from the 31% in the previous year. Along with that, the cadets have participated in 46 POI events and engaged in 33 competitions, statewide and region-wise. These have continued to show a beacon of leadership, academic achievement, and community service. The program's remarkable expansion in public affairs events and competitions, along with improved academic performance, indicates a robust and dynamic future. These efforts contribute not only to the development of the students, but also the enrichment of the Keller Saginaw community and the community around us. Continued support from the City Council will help sustain and further enhance the positive impact of the program on the cadets and the broader region. So we thank you for allowing us to be here and to show this recognition. Thank you.
Booker, you good?
I do one more.
Oh, okay, watch this. This is good. Listen.
Eyes here, please. 3, 2, 1.
He's a Marine too, so there we go. Hey, congratulations. Excellent work. Absolutely.
Thank y'all for being here. We appreciate it.
Next will be items to be withdrawn from the consent agenda.
And there are no items to be withdrawn from the consent agenda.
Items to be continued or withdrawn by staff.
And there are no items to be continued or withdrawn by staff.
Mayor, before we take the non-consent speakers, I do have a correction to read into the record regarding MNC 24-0914, which is item number 26 on page 11 of the consent agenda. This item includes 2 appropriation ordinances regarding grants operating federal fund. The ordinance that only mentions the $449,000 appropriation is not needed and is being withdrawn. That action is covered by the other ordinance, which appropriates that amount along with the $212,000 in new money. And with that, Mayor, we can take the non-consent speakers, or the consent speakers.
The consent speakers, yes, ma'am. Thank you. Our first speaker is Tara Rice, followed by Adrian Smith.
Ms. Rice?
Oh, yes, I'm here.
Go ahead, you have 3 minutes.
Good evening, Fort Worth, the city of Fort Worth. I still find it very mysterious that I have not heard, no matter how many false police reports that are filed, but I still have not heard back. I got a confirmation on my email October 26th, yet we are nearly a year later, and I have not had a response. I find it the lack of communication and concerning, but it doesn't surprise me because I have learned to fight fearlessly for what is right. I don't need a group of residents of Fort Worth to stand with me, because what you fail to realize is I will fight alone like I have been, and I will continue to fight alone. And I don't need someone who is persuaded by the other side to fight with me, because God made me just the way I am. But if it was my son or maybe her adopted daughter that she adopted that no one has heard from, or even Alex Kim's 5 children, and I don't know how you go from 5 to 1. I don't understand that. But I'm ready to take it to trial. And if I have to go all the way, I'm going to go all the way, because I like to see what's written about me and mine, because I like to give glory to my God for everything that you have protected me and my children from. So, with that being said, you guys have a great evening, but I look forward to hearing from you soon, or other, because I have no problem with taking it to trial.
Our next speaker is Adrian Smith.
Adrian Smith, District 6. I am one with the people. This particular agenda item, MMC 24-0862, it's a authorization, execution, and agreement with the Dream Wizards Incorporated for private lot mowing services in an annual amount of $400,000 for the initial term, and authorize 4 one-year renewal options for the same annual amount for the Code Compliance Department. So before you all vote like you normally do, I want to speak to this particular agenda item. Although this particular contract doesn't bleed heavily as it relates to taxpayer dollars going into it, 2 things that stood out to me, particular parts of the language. It says, holding private, well, this is how I paraphrase it. So basically, this contract is basically holding private property owners accountable should their given property become an eyesore due to the necessary upkeep. So basically, the Code Compliance Department, you all are going to outsource particular lawn services to go out to private property owners who tend not to upkeep their property, et cetera, et cetera. So this is $400,000 man, blah, blah, blah. It's going to, continuation, blah, blah, blah. But my thing is, and I don't expect it from you all. I'm pretty sure someone from code compliance can give me a call. Thank you, staff. The business equity placed a 5% business equity goal on this contract. However, the contract recipient submitted a prime waiver form in accordance with the city business equity ordinance. Basically, the contractor said they're going to be doing the work themselves. They do not want the 5% inclusion as it relates to minority businesses, et cetera, being a part of it. So my thing is to you all, and this began back with the waste management contract. Remember, Mr. Williams? We said it was going to start a precedence. When you all undid the waste management contract, that was that night services had a part of. So now we have businesses coming in now who can request for this particular waiver of minority business requirements if they feel it necessary. So what are we doing here? We're just giving taxpayer dollars away and just blindly, or what? What are we doing? But it's all good. If someone from the code compliance department, I see the new director there, if someone could give me a call and better explain this.
Council, that's the conclusion of our consent agenda speakers. I can entertain a motion on the consent agenda. Motion is second. Is there any more discussion? If not, please vote. Motion carries.
Next will be announcements of upcoming and recent events, recognition of citizens, and approval of ceremonial travel if needed.
Thank you. Councilmember Flores.
Thanks, Mayor. Please get the slideshow presentation up. Okay, first slide. When summer wraps up, so did Sonidos del Summer. We had a cumbia band come out to Marine Park and put new life into that historic park. Celine Forever Tribute Band was there thanks to the Hispanic Chamber, Northside Historic District, and everyone who came together, our sponsors, to make that event a success. Next slide, please. All right. On Wednesday, September 11th, I joined the police department from Northwest Division to do a little work during Coffee with a Cop at the Starbucks located off Northwest Loop 820. So I think I may have found a new calling, Mayor, to supplement the generous pay that we receive here on council. And enjoyed working with that team. They're a hardworking bunch there at that Starbucks. Next slide, please. All right. We kicked off the new Orange Line from Trinity Metro recently. Mayor Parker was out there along with Councilmember Crane as well. And this line has been very successful. You know, we've increased ridership there. It's been sustained. It's very identifiable and easy to take. Runs every 15 minutes. If you haven't tried it, try it out. It is very stylish and it gets you there in plenty of time. Next slide, please. All right, Fiestas Patrias. During Hispanic Heritage Month, we had a parade in the Fort Worth Stockyards, and it was a wonderful success. We exceeded attendance numbers again from last year, and so I want to thank Lola Lavender Hardesty for the wonderful photos that she took, and thanks to everybody who participated. Next slide, please. All right, also in the theme of Hispanic Heritage, this was in District 11, Councilmember Martinez's district. We had the traditional grito of independence there at La Grande Plaza. So we also had, Mr. Javier, who serenaded with the national anthem of Mexico. Next slide, please. National Night Out. Many of us were out in our neighborhoods covering great distances and a variety of events going on. It's important to bring together the community and our police department. So wonderful event. Thanks for everyone who participated. Next slide, please. Okay, the American Red Cross of Greater North Texas had a Sound the Alarm event. They're looking at areas around our town, in my case, 76106, 76164 zip codes, to look for folks that need fire alarms. These are life-saving devices, and thanks to the Fort Worth Fire Department that helped us out that day to get those fire alarms installed. Next slide, please. All right, just this past Saturday, we had a great turnout, Tunnel Towers over in the Stockyards, a 5K run and walk. I did both, run and walk. Well, well, I'm not in shape, y'all. And then, but who is in shape is our mayor and Macy Hill. You know, they're pros, so they had a really good run, and we all came together to support our first responders and military servicemen and women. Yeah, they laughing. All right, then one announcement. We have, again, for Hispanic Heritage Month, which is wrapping up today, we're going to have our annual Artes de la Rosa Dia de los Muertos parade that's going on here in Fort Worth. Contact the Rosemary Theater there, Artes de la Rosa, and speak with Will if you'd like to participate. And this is done in collaboration with City of Fort Worth, Santa Chamber of Commerce, Naleo, and Visita Fort Worth. So look forward to seeing you there. And this will be, let's see, 10 a.m. through 11:30 a.m. There'll be a festival that's followed in Marine Park. So come on out, and we'll see you there November 2nd. Thank you. That's all I got.
Councilmember Crane.
Thanks, Mayor. I have 3 quick slides. I wanted to point out the 90th birthday for Patsy Luther Cantrell. You may not know her name, but you know her work. And her family owned Ridgely Construction. So a lot of the work that you see along Camp Bowie was because of her and her family, the Ridgely Village, Ridgely Country Club Estates, some work in Westover Hills. And it was really great to be able to present that recognition to her as well. Very involved in the stock show. Wendy was one of the founders of the Wendy Ryan Roping, as well as the Camp Bowie District that's continued to preserve that look along Camp Bowie. So it was great to be able to honor her and really her whole family that was there on Sunday. Next slide. I just want to invite everybody out. Myself, the mayor, Councilmember Williams, as well as some staff for the groundbreaking of Station 16. Very excited about that. It's going to be a great addition to that area. And I toured the old Station 16, Mayor. You talked about going there the other day. It is in bad. Those firefighters are in bad need of that facility. So we're excited about that. Next slide. And then I just want to invite everybody out. LBT Rise is doing a lot of great work under the leadership of Paige Charbonnet in Las Vegas Trail. And so this Thursday is the big fundraising lunch at Ridgely Country Club at 11:30 a.m. If you're not doing anything or if you want to support, we'd love to have you out there. Thank you.
Councilmember Larsdorf.
Thank you, Mayor. So we recently had the grand opening of Andretti Indoor Karting and Games. It's not the only place people seem to speed in the city of Fort Worth, so it's actually nice to have somewhere north of the loop where people can go to actually have some fun. And we also had the groundbreaking of Frost Financial Center, great partners up in the Alliance area, so we're excited to have them. Next slide. We also had a great visit from the Alliance Texas Student Influencers. They came out to talk about the city and how things work in the city. I know Mayor Pro Tem, you would have been excited to see all these young future leaders out there actually paying attention. And afterwards, we thought they would just take off, but no, they all created a line just to ask questions and a lot of internship questions and what they can do to actually get involved in their communities and neighborhoods. Next slide. We also had a National Night Out. District 4 actually had the most events throughout the city, but I gotta say that the bottom left picture is actually me crashing one of Alan's events because they actually do a little bike ride event. So we gotta step up our game at some of our events, but nonetheless, huge show of support out there for our first responders. Next slide. Congratulations to our most recent Fort Worth firefighters. Anyone who's willing to run towards the sound of chaos always has my utmost respect. We know they certainly don't do it for the pay, but we're super thankful for them and the sacrifice that they're willing to make on behalf of our city. So congratulations, Chief, and to the rest of the fire department for your newest graduates, which that actually means we're fully staffed now on the fire department. For the Fort Worth Police Department is summertime as they had the unveiling of the name for Officer Randolph, who was killed in line of duty, and the unveiling of the picture of Officer Jensen as well. So it meant a lot to see a lot of folks out there honoring both of our fallen police officers. So next slide. All right, for any veterans out there or anyone who's in the veteran space, there's a new portal that's online, so recommend you go to the City of Fort Worth website, find that portal or find that page, send it out, send in your recommendations for any other resources or links you think should be there so we can help spread the word. Next slide. Wing is having their Fort Worth Community Day this weekend. So far, they've been an awesome partner in listening to the residents. Certain neighborhoods, you may have heard the drones going back and forth. There's a lot of concern at first, but you actually have a company who's out there in the community, letting them know what's going on, how things work, addressing privacy concerns, et cetera. So this weekend, they're having another community gathering to answer questions. and just talk more about what they do. And the first 75 folks will get free breakfast tacos. I guess they heard District 4. We love our burritos and tacos, and they're taking a lesson out of our book. So hopefully you can join us there. Yeah. All right, that's it.
Thank you. Councilmember Bivens.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah. Sandy and I pulled off our Ride into the Sunset for National Night Out. And when I say Sandy, most folk in District 5 and 8 and 4 and all over the city know that's Sandy Bro and I. And so we just figured we'd go out blazing and shooting up in the sky, but police were around, so we just went along for the rides. Next slide, please. We had fun hanging out with people in White Lake Hills, the Bluffs, Lakes of River Trail South, and I was so glad to see not only police, but a big fire truck as well. But the fire truck didn't attract a toddler who wanted to climb up, and I just couldn't take the picture. He was just so pissed off that he was being asked to get in that truck. But that's us for National Night Out. Next slide, please. Oh, we're still there. We did have fun with Miss Honeybee. And it's amazing how people, you turn my picture back on, okay. What you don't know is that he flipped a switch and I lost all my stuff. But this is what we did. We had a fun time for our last ride. And for those of you who don't know, Sandy Bro and I will officially leave City Hall in May of 2025, or possibly July of 2025. Next slide, please. I had fun in Stop 6 Texas, and we called it Pink Praise in the Park, and this is Tabor Farms. Mount Tabor is a church that has a farm, and they sell fresh food, fresh vegetables, and they even give them away. So there's one, the very first picture is me attempting to relive my days in a sorority in college, and I was told then I had no rhythm, and I convinced people today I still have no rhythm, but I had a blast. Thank you. Next slide. Over the weekend, we had a chance to celebrate the 100th birthday of the Honorable L. Clifford Davis. Next slide, please. This judge is such a special person. Even Opal Lee and State Senator Royce West showed up to honor him. Before he took action in the late 50s, schools in Fort Worth and Mansfield were segregated, meaning I had to go to a school restricted for African Americans only. He had worked with the Honorable Thurgood Marshall and later filed these landmark cases for Fort Worth ISD and Mansfield ISD, ending segregated schools in Fort Worth. Next slide, please. Reverend or Bishop J.E. Hornsby and his wife celebrated 50 years in ministry, and we were in Grapevine there. They filled the place up at the Great Wolf Lodge. And to show you how big this church is, this church, all the money goes to the church. They raised $7 million cash. And he was really offended that they had to put out another campaign to get to 10, but $7 million. If you drive down Trinity Boulevard and you almost get to 360, you will see the Cathedral of Faith. It is a plug-and-play ready church for Daystar. And if there's ever a hurricane or anything, there's no wood in that building. It's all whatever it takes to be safe. And so we all owe a debt of gratitude for Bishop Hornsby because he's opened the doors for anyone running from storms. And I think that's all I have. Yeah.
And Councilmember Williams, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Mayor. Just a few quick slides. I wanted to give a big shout out to the Texas Association of Addiction Professionals for their annual Recovery in the Park. Got the chance to spend some time with their board and with our community there, and it was a really great event. If you are not familiar with TAP, they seek to promote the advancement of addiction professionals and counseling professionals throughout Texas to help folks who are in need of assistance. And so if you know someone who needs assistance, please visit their website at FortWorthTap, that's with 2A's.org. Next slide. Similar to my colleagues, we hit the ground running on National Night Out and attended as many neighborhoods as we could. I think we got 95% of the neighborhoods, but It was quite a bit of neighbors to celebrate, and it was just really great to see how many neighbors were engaged in various festivities across the district. It's really inspiring to see a community that stands and unites together and works with our first responders to promote safety in our city. And big shout out to our police department, our fire, and EMS team who came out and made the night such a huge success. Next slide. Also got to spend some time with our neighbors at Lake Como. We talked a lot about the newly updated form-based code and all the great work that's happening in Como. So if you missed that meeting, we'll be back again next month, and we'll have some special guests from the city to talk about NEZs and all the other great things that directly impact the Lake Como neighborhood. Next slide. Announcement, District 6 is having another letter day. So join us on October 26th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And our location will be focusing on cleaning up along Hewlin Street and Risinger Road. And we'll meet at Hallmark Baptist Church at 4201 West Risinger Road. Next slide. My last slide is a bit sentimental. Davia, one of our district directors in District 6, is weeks, if not days, away from giving birth. And tonight is her last meeting for a long time because she's going on parental leave. And so I just wanted to give flowers while she is here before she goes on parental leave to say thank you. We're really excited about the new chapter that you'll be embarking on with your little one, you and your husband. And as you prepare to go on this journey, know that we're praying with you and we're really excited about this. Sorry for the lack of sleep in advance. And I don't know what we're gonna do without you. I think I'm gonna have to ask Councilmember Nettles on how to create PowerPoint slides. And so, needless, it's an inside joke. You will see in a second what we're talking about. But anyways, thank you, Davia, for just all that you do for our team, and we hope you enjoy an amazing parental leave, and we will see you when you get back.
Congratulations,
Many blessings. That's all.
Councilmember Hill.
I just have one announcement. Municipal courts will host their warrant forgiveness program on November the 2nd. This event will be held at Blue Haze Elementary at 601 Blue Haze Drive from 9 until noon. This event is a safe harbor event, so anyone who has outstanding citations with the municipal court of the city of Fort Worth is welcome to come. Citizens may appear at the municipal court location or a court in the community event without fear of arrest for their cases. They can resolve any outstanding cases and be eligible for alternatives such as community service or a reduction in their fine based on their ability to pay. For further information, go to the city's website. Thank you.
Thank you. And Councilmember Nettles.
Yes, thank you. You will see Jared, Dr. Williams. Chelsea Anthony did this time. So you see the difference. All right, next slide. Check presentation to the Southside Community Garden with Congressman Mark Vesey. Great development that's happened in District 8. They have been working hard for the last 2 to 3 years, if longer, and they've been awarded, and so that we can keep putting community gardens in the back of neighborhoods in District 8. Next slide. Check presentation also to Renaissance Heights Foundation. We work with both of these organizations to meet with Congressman Mark Vesey, send letters to make sure that we can make this happen. This is those of you that know that Mr. Habit Baggett, that was a longtime developer in Fort Worth. This is the Happy Park named after him, and so there's dollars going to that park to reinvest that park in Southeast Fort Worth. Next slide, please. Tarrant County Award, Harambe Festival 2024 Lifetime Achievement Award, honoring Mr. Frank and Christine Moss for their services. Had opportunity to be there with so many great elected officials and members of our community. Next slide. Mr. Larry Christian, special recognition in the city of Fort Worth. He has done supernatural things as a base to our nonprofit space with providing meals and food and groceries to surrounding neighborhoods. Next slide. presenting the L. Clifford Davis Legal Association Scholarship Awards Banquet, celebrating L. Clifford Davis' 100th birthday. He had so many birthday celebrations. This was one of the few that I was able to make. And when I tell you, he spoke for 7 minutes and really encouraged the people for his leadership. And he is yet in his right mind and knows what he's doing. And so we're grateful for his service to the city of Fort Worth. Next slide. District 8 Town Hall was a success. We had Bob Ray Sanders, who was able to talk about what has happened in District 8 many years prior to my arrival, and we talked about what is coming forth along with Stacy Marshall and other city staff. Next slide. The lunch of Evans and Rosedale with Royal Capital. It was a great meeting. You see, it was pretty packed. We're looking forward to what's going to happen on Evans and Rosedale. The dream is still alive. Next slide. National Night Out. I had opportunity to go to Meadowbrook, Poly, next slide, Glencrest, Holland Hills, and the list goes on and on. Next slide. Next slide. Happy birthday to Dr. Opalee. We celebrated her special birthday lunch, 98th birthday. Next slide. Harambe Parade Festival 15-year anniversary. I was with my colleague, Jeanette Martinez, joined us. We had Molly on the back with us. It was a great outdoor event held at the McDonald's YMCA. Next slide. Holland Hills Annual Breast Cancer Award Parade in Holland Hills, Pink Out. We was able to ride on the hayride on that slide, and immediately after that, we ran over to the next slide to to the Tatiana Jefferson's parade. I actually had to walk that parade, so down Evans Avenue, and so you see her sister Ashley there, keeping up the foundation of the dream alive. Next slide. The Southeast Luncheon. We had the opportunity to listen to our phenomenal mayor talk about economic and what's happening in Southeast and what's happening in the city of Fort Worth. Joined also by a lot of my colleagues, but on stage with Jeanette Martinez as well. You really like smiling at me, Jeanette. I think you're proud of me in that slide. Thank you. So those are all my slides. Thank you.
All right, next slide. Okay. So we started the month with our recovery kickoff event. There's lots of clowns there. It was some silly faces, but a really serious topic, and happy to partner with Fort Worth Fire Department and community members to help get Narcan out in the community for some harm reduction. Next slide. We had our biannual MPO breakfast. It's always nice to listen and hear some issues. Next slide. Main table, there's a picture of me and my younger sister, because I'm definitely not old enough to be her mother. It was a great event. We had great weather, and this year there was no storm. So next slide. All right, the Linwood Neighborhood Association meeting. Linwood is back up and running, and we're happy to be able to meet with them. Next slide. Some big things happening in District 9, the TCU Burnett School of Medicine, Arnold Hall dedication. If you drive down Rosedale and you see that beautiful building that looks like it belongs on TCU's campus, it's because it kind of does. It's meant to look that way, and we're excited to have them as part of our Medical Innovation District in the near South Side. Next slide. All right, Fire Station Community Center is getting a revamp, and we were really excited to be able to unveil that to members of the community in September. Lots of really exciting things happening there to connect the skate park and our community center. Next slide. Had the opportunity to have coffee with our downtown neighborhood Alliance residents and got a little parade while we did it, thanks to the Texas A&M Corps of Cadets. Next slide. We had so much fun at National Night Out. We literally forgot to take pictures, but we did manage to make sure we captured a bunch of kiddos climbing on the Fort Worth's very own Bearcat. Next slide. All right, the District 9 litter stomp, you see me, we had members of our office all over the district, from Wedgwood to the near South Side and downtown. Next slide. This past weekend, we had the opportunity to attend the second annual Pioneers Rest Fall Festival. They'll be doing it again next October. I encourage everyone to go out to Samuels Avenue and check out this piece of Fort Worth history. If you have not, many of the folks that names you recognize as building this city are buried right there in that cemetery. Next slide. District 9 has 2 new constituents. Welcome to the Fort Worth Zoo, Jasper the mandrill and Finnegan the giraffe. Both are out and about in their enclosures, and we encourage you to go check them out while the weather is cooler. Next slide. All right, Burnett Park's fall programming is out. It is all free. I encourage you to take part in it. There's Tuesdays free yoga classes, and then we have the lunchtime music series is back. If you're into Zumba, that's for you as well. Next slide. Okay, October is Domestic Violence Prevention Month. One Safe Place is an amazing organization here in the city of Fort Worth that really works hard to help prevent domestic violence. They have several events happening this month, and I'd encourage you to attempt to attend one of those events, and if you cannot attend one of those events, please consider supporting that organization. Next slide. We have the upcoming Queer Professionals Network dates for the rest of the year. So I'd encourage you to, if you are interested and a member of that community and would like to network, those are your dates. Next slide. All right, this weekend, lots going on in the near south side. We have Arts Goggle. If you have not been to Arts Goggle, I'd highly recommend you get out there. There's 400 local artists that will be lining Magnolia, lots of live music and local vendors and lots of food. And you can walk it all off, so you don't have to feel guilty about it. Also, next slide, on the 19th, the Wedgwood Garden Club is having their plant sale. It helps fund their activities, and they really work hard to keep Wedgwood beautiful, and our Wedgwood Library, the Wedgwood Branch Library beautiful as well. So go out and support them and pick up a couple plants, and hopefully you are better at keeping them alive than I am. Next slide. All right, so our community centers are really busy. The next couple of weeks, this Saturday, Greenbrier will be having its fall festival. October 25th, the Southwest Community Center will be having their Spookapalooza. And then October 26th, Fire Station Community Center will have their Skate into Fall Festival. Next slide. Okay. Coming to District 9, October 26th is the 8th annual 440 Firefighter Chili Cook-Off. Head on out and get you some good chili, and hopefully the weather will be perfect. Next slide. Also on the 26th, the Wounded Warrior Project Carry Forward 5K. If you are inclined to run, please do so. Next slide. All right. Last but not least, movie nights in Burnett Park, Friday, November 1st, 7 p.m. We will be showing Coco, and that's all I got.
Councilmember Martinez.
Thank you, Mayor. Sorry, presentations are out of order, but it's okay. I'd like to take the moment to introduce to you our new district director in District 11 office, Tracy Clyburn. Tracy, if you could wave here on this side. Tracy has hit the ground running since coming to our office, and she comes with us from a background in nonprofit and real estate. Next slide. Okay, on October 12th, I had the privilege of kicking off the 3rd annual Race on Race Street. Huge shout out to Ron Green with PT Fitness on a successful event. Ron does such a good job every year bringing in not only runners, but also businesses and community partners for this event. Next slide. And on October 3rd, the Oakhurst Neighborhood Association and Oakhurst Citizens on Patrol hosted its 26th annual First Responders Appreciation Lunch. I want to thank these two groups for taking such good care of our police officers and firefighters each year and provided them with a very delicious meal throughout the day.
All done? Okay. That's okay. That's a conclusion of our presentations this evening. Thank you, Council.
Council, next will be the non-consent speakers. I believe we have 8, Mayor.
Thank you. Our first speaker is Bobby Planzer, followed by Bob Willoughby.
Mayor, I've heard our office talk with him today.
Okay.
He basically can't be here tonight. He's been to a lot of our meetings. He just wanted to express his thanks for our hard work and that he appreciates that our 10 a.m. meetings that we do have because he enjoys that kids can come visit and be here.
Thank you, Michael. Our next speaker is Bob Willoughby, followed by David Fulson, or Dave Fulson.
council celebrity hours over with. New schedule here. What you really ought to see on the city website is you look at this, the new schedule. This is the third time it's coming up. Every year they got to do this. And what you don't see on the website, and you don't see this on the screen either right now. We need to get this schedule up on the screen. Thank you very much. You know what it doesn't tell you? They removed the public presentation. Go over on the website and bump over the information. Doesn't say nothing about moving the public presentation, okay? Another thing, what they done here, when Maddie put this in 3 years ago, it says no the new schedule. It doesn't ask us, it tells you. That's dictatorship. That's communist, 100%. And that, so, but here's the thing. Why don't you do this? Why don't you take your council celebrity hour, you show the council public presentation, you kept that on. Another thing, Mayor, I would like for you to restore order when Crane gets out of order, okay? I know how you take it off the website and you can't hear him interrupt me. He'll be quiet tonight, but he interrupts me on purpose. I want you to restore order if he does. Right, Crane? Okay, you're the one that made jokes about this, about me. You said I was joking. I asked you to explain what is a public presentation? How do you explain that, Mr. Crane? What do you call it if you don't call it free speech? You know, they make fun of me constantly calling this free speech. It is free speech, and he can't say that because it makes him a liar, okay? I want you to take your public presentation, okay? You kicked us off and kept yours up there. That's conceited. Move yours to the bottom of the agenda like you had us, okay? And when you do that, these good people that come down here just for work and have to go home, they don't have to listen to that for 45 minutes. And if anybody wants to stay and watch you, they can stay all night and watch you. But you'll find out that everybody's gone and you can go home early. So move your presentation to the bottom. And you know what? You don't restore this. You have no respect for the people here. You lied when you took an oath. You took an oath to serve the people. And that is a lie. It's un-American, I'll tell you what. If you don't vote to put this back in, then you need to start voting for this flag right here. This is your flag. That's a communist flag. That's not the communist flag. That's the American flag. That stands for free speech and freedom. This is your flag. Am I upside down? Okay, very good for you. Thank you for your help.
Point of order.
Okay. Point of order. Where'd it come from?
Right here. Point of order.
Point of order.
Yeah,
Okay.
talk about the schedule.
Okay, well, anyway, that's your flag to vote for if you don't put back free speech. That's what you're taking. It's not on this agenda. It was on this agenda. It's not. Okay? So you look at your council agenda out there and see if you see public presentation on the bottom. Now, you could have 3 years ago when Betsy Price was here. Go watch one council meeting, Betsy Price, and watch one council meeting, what she did this place. 36 months, 5 months in here, she asked for a triple pay and raise, and these guys supported it. It's terrible. Neighborhood associations don't speak out like they should against your wrongdoing. It's just terrible. But when you start taking away free speech, and these people don't care, that's unbelievable. Thank you.
Next speaker is Dave Fulson, followed by Lisa DeBrito.
And that's going to be a hard act to follow. Dave Fulson, District 5, proud member of the John T. White Neighborhood Association. And I am in favor of keeping the meeting schedule exactly as it is. You know, we've heard it said 552,614 times, I believe, that we've stolen free speech. I can't think of a better example of free citizen speech than we have at the Fort Worth City Council and councils all across the country. I'm in favor of keeping this for many different reasons. I like the fact that we do have, you know, opportunities to come down here and talk on agenda items, and zoning issues are important to all the citizens and groups in Fort Worth, Texas. I think we have ample time to do that. I also like the fact that we have 2 citizen presentations that we can come up and we can discuss a wide variety of issues. And that's really what it's for. It should be discussing issues that are relevant to your neighborhood, or to your neighbors, or to your city, or your desires for what you want your city to be or not be. This is a perfect time to come to our city leadership, and anybody that comes prepared and has legitimate things to say, I think you will find this delivers all the opportunity necessary to deliver what we as citizens want you to be aware of and share and ask things of you and have your attention, your eyeballs on things that affect your districts and our lives. I find it really odious that, especially to some of our members that have served our country in armed services. I've heard it said by the previous speaker that you're not only, you're a traitor to your country. And I find that you've got more self-control than I would probably be able to show under that circumstance. Because, you know, people that are in our armed services, they take the oath to die for our country if necessary, and to, by doing so, preserving one of our greatest rights, which is freedom of speech. So I just want to say this is no infringement on freedom of speech. We have evening meetings that start at 6. I like that better than 7. We can go home and watch TV and eat with our families. I like the morning meetings sometimes, especially for civic events like when, you know, schools bring kids up here to get a close firsthand look at city leadership and how our city operates at. And I think it's great to have those in the daytime. I just think we have a perfect mix, exactly the way we're doing it right now. And it's my strong recommendation, and for everybody that I've talked to, that we keep it exactly like it is. And like I said, this is the best example of free speech I can possibly think of, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Our next speaker is Lisa DeBrito, followed by Gerald Banks Sr.
Well, I'm glad that bootlicking is over. That was boring. The speech you want us to hear, and that brings me to my point. My name is Lisa DeBrito Fox. I am a retired constitutional law attorney in the state of Florida, as well as a civil rights attorney. And since it is Dia de la Muerta, I want to say her name again, Tatiana Jefferson. Because to Mr. James and her family, we will never forget, ever. Now, I am part of the 996,756 bosses in this city. You work for us. What I'm about to say, Councilman Nettles, excludes you, because as far as I can tell, he's the only person on this dais with any kind of scruples and any kind of morals. Why am I opposed? And I am opposed to this new schedule in 2025. Because what you have forgotten is that we are a home rule city. And by definition, home rule city means, and I quote, as implied, that the citizens rule this city. So if that's the case, please tell me, please explain to me why we have the second largest consent agenda in the entire state of Texas, second only to Austin, Texas. Y'all spend our money like it's water. Meanwhile, I got neighbors working 3 jobs to meet the fees and the taxes that they're being hit with. I never even see my neighbors or their kids, and they don't see their kids either because of y'all's out of control spending. So, second largest consent agenda. Maybe we'd have room for public comment at every meeting if y'all weren't rubber stamping stuff for most of the meeting. That being said, the city has high crime rates, gang violence. I just had a personal friend have their car jacked on Saturday just outside of East Texas. But we have special powers, and those special powers as citizens are that we have the right to veto the things that you do and actually remove you from office if we don't agree with that. I'm going to be starting a podcast called Fort Worth Confidential, and trust me, it's going to make Jaguar on the blue couch look like a kiddie show. May God have mercy on every one of your souls.
Gerald Banks Sr., followed by Adrian Smith.
Gerald Banks Sr., District 5. I know you all are going to vote the way you want to vote,
but I'm gonna say this anyway. Resolutions 24-4572, vote no. The Willie Lynch syndrome is still in full effect. When it comes to free speech and our right to do so, shouldn't be limited to a dictator's world of choice. Limited public speaking causes crucial incidents like what happened with William Martin and his unstable episode to go unnoticed or not to be addressed before the council at all. The fact that this council has set rules and break their own rules say a lot, especially when disrespecting a citizen when the clock is running and interrupting their time, no matter how much you dislike the person that's speaking. Vote no to 24-4572. Dignity goes a long way, and the lack of says a lot about the way things are being handled here in the city chambers, as well as the city of Fort Worth. Vote no to 24-4572. I know the mayor and council members don't want to hear the problems that a problem a speaker has to address, but I thought that you took the oath to listen to all grievances brought before you, no matter who brings it. Vote no to 24-4572. We as citizens should be able to speak every week as situations occur and also reclaim our time when interrupted. I guess I'm asking too much. Remember, you once stood here in this very spot and wanted to be respected by the mayor and all council members. Mayor Parker, I don't bite. I'll elaborate once we have our meeting, no word yet when that will happen. Vote no to their new resolutions, 24-4572. I appreciate you listening.
Our next speaker is Adrian Smith. Adrian will be followed by Tara Rice.
The Constitution of the United States, we, the people, established September 17th, 1787, is the power given to the collective will of the people of our nation to ensure government in which governs the affairs of our nation does it in fairness, consideration, and without the undue burden for all mankind equally. Basically, to keep power-driven individuals humble in the case they forget the positions they hold within government doesn't just belong to them. Fort Worth, incorporated in 1873, adopted a city council manager form of government when it received its charter from the Texas legislator in 1924. October 19, 2021. The last day the citizens of this city had rights afforded to them through our Constitution nullified by our current mayor and city council. Public participation used to commence at 7 p.m. to ensure the people of our city who desired to attend council meetings could do so without having to neglect other matters of importance within their personal lives. It has since been reduced to 6 p.m., thus leaving no opportunity for citizens' full participation as it relates to matters of importance regarding our city. Ensuring tax dollars are allocated rightly for the purposes they are, ensuring tax dollars are allocated for the purposes they are intended, accountability, transparency, and consideration for those we've elected into office, and our given right of redress without fear of punishment or reprisals. Not only has this council reduced citizen participation, it removed the public presentation criteria that was once an intricate part of everything that's Fort Worth since its inception. This is what Bob Willoughby has been advocating against. Ever since this mayor and council decided they would no longer serve the will of the people, but rather be a service unto themselves. This is utterly unacceptable and right out disgusting regarding each of them. The irony of it all, not one of them has ever provided an explanation as to why the change was necessary. Now, before you make your vote tonight, you have an opportunity to explain to us, we the people, why the change even happened back in 2021. Since you all are fully loaded with points of orders when you want to interrupt us, tell the people why you made this change.
Our next speaker is Tara Rice, followed by David Martinez.
Ms. Rice?
Good evening.
Go ahead.
Good evening, the residents of Fort Worth. I'm sorry?
Go ahead.
Can you hear me? Okay. Good evening. I don't care about the First Amendment right when you don't even, when our human rights are being violated. Isn't it a human right for our children that sit at 323rd Timber Road to be able to read and go to school? That's a human right. Isn't it a right for our Maddie's talking about this pushing education, but yet you got children Fort Worth ISD that are not being educated, but they're being locked up. You got children signing plea deals that can't even read. If you can't read, you can't write. So how can you read to understand what you are signing? But I guess it doesn't affect Maddie Parker's 2 white sons, or maybe her mysterious adopted daughter, or maybe Alex Kim's 5 children, which he adopted.
This is very entertaining.
That he ran his
Does that have
campaign
anything to
on.
do with the council schedule? Let's leave my kids out of it. Thanks.
Oh, no, that has nothing to do with it, because you're going to hear about me every week, because you see how you're getting upset? You're getting upset about me talking to your children.
I'm not upset, but I just was trying to keep us on point. That'd be good. I think we're done. Thank you. Let's move to the next speaker. David Martinez. Hi, David.
Hey, thank y'all for listening. I was on the phone, lost connection. Sorry about that. I appreciate y'all giving me time to speak. I want to say this. When I first started coming here, all y'all know I would come here to complain and all that stuff, but I changed my ways on that, and I started working with the city because I get more stuff done for my community. And I have to remember that I just don't represent myself. I represent the other people that are not here. I looked on my, Councilwoman Martinez posted today about checking where you go vote at, and I put my address in, found out 0% voting in my neighborhood in Carter Park. So so when I go speak, there's thousands of people who are not going, we'll never hear. And I hear all the time the complaints though, trust me. But I want to say that it's very important that somebody does show up, and as long as I'm alive, I will come and speak until there's somebody else to take my place. Trust me, I would rather be at home watching football or whatever and eating tacos, drinking beer. But I'm here because if I don't do it, then who will? And so I cannot put it onto somebody else's shoulders. God has put it on my shoulders. So I'm here to do it as whatever I can do. And I wanted to say that. And it's very important because I want to invite everybody to my event this weekend, Saturday, at the Worth Heights Community Center for the little kids from 5 to 7 o'clock. Please, everybody attend. It's all inclusive. Everything's free. I know art goggles going on, but if you can't afford it, that's a place to go to. Thank you. God bless.
Council, that's the last of our non-consent agenda item speakers.
Our next item will be 24-4569, board appointments from District 6.
Councilmember Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to request the council's consideration to appoint and reappoint the following individuals to their respective boards with terms effective October 15, 2024 and ending October 1st, 2026. District 6 appointments include Duriel Holly to the Aviation Advisory Board, Charles Lincoln to Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, Kalisha Stevenson, Zoning Commission, and Fourth Alliance Airport and Zoning Commission, David Beckman, Pedestrian and Bicycle Advisory Board, Melanie Dottie Munoz, Building Standards Commission, Sharm Robarts, Community Development Council, Myra Shearhart, Board of Adjustment Residential, Estrus Tucker, Historic and Cultural Landmarks Commission, Laura Lape, Library Advisory Board, Dorothy DeBose, Urban Design Commission, Denise Turner, City Plan Commission, and Capital Improvements Plan Advisory Committee for Transportation Impact Fees.
Motion and a second, council, please vote. Motion carries.
Next will be 24-4570, board appointments from District 8.
Councilmember Nettles.
Thank you. I would like to request your consideration to appoint and reappoint the following individuals to their respective boards and with terms effective October 15th, 2024 and ending October 1, 2026. First appointment will be LaShonda Davis to her first term on the Library Advisory Board. Reappointments will include Aquanet Crockett, second term Community Development Councilman. Lucretia Powell, second term Board of Adjustments and Residential. Darren Harp, third term Board of Adjustments, Commercial and Alliance Airport Boards of Adjustments. Number 4, Tisa Leggett, first term to Zoning Commission and the Forward Alliance Airport Zoning Commission. Anna Katrina Kelly, second term to Historic and Cultural Landmarks Commission. Mary Kay Hughes, second term for Urban Design Commission. And lastly, James Walker, second term to Building Standards Commission.
Motion and a second, please vote.
Next is 24-4680, at-large appointments for the Art Commission, I believe. Yes.
I don't know who's got that.
It is to appoint Denise Turner to the first term, position 1, Community Representative 1, with reappointment dates of October 15, 2024 through October 1st, 2025 to the Fort Worth Art Commission.
Thank you for that. I have that in my notes. Move to approve.
Thank you. Motion, okay, motion and a second, please vote. Motion carries.
Next will be Resolution 24-4572.
Motion and a second, council. Any discussion? Councilmember Nettles.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to add a couple of comments to this. We heard the comments tonight. Those who have read, we have 15 public comments for the public, 16 work sessions, 11 zoning council meetings, and 10 city council meetings. And when we came up to this schedule, I would say the proposed was at 5 p.m. And I asked the mayor and council if we can move it to 6. So that's how we got to the 6, to make sure that those who got off at 5 o'clock can have an opportunity to come at 6 p.m. Also, during those meetings and discussions, that if there was a great need within the city of Fort Worth, that we needed to have a special call meeting to hear from the public, we will have that special call meeting. And those of you who have been watching and been concerned and alert, we had an issue that came up a few months ago, and I requested for a special call meeting. The mayor honored it, as well as the city council, and we had a special call executive work session. So I will say this. This council has been attentive to the needs and the concerns and allowing those to speak when it's necessary time to speak. However, I do believe that each time we have a meeting, it should have an opportunity to speak. But let me say this, we do it no justice when we come in here and for some of us clown or make a mockery of the system. And so I will encourage all of us that who wants to have these continued meetings, each time you come, you have opportunity to speak. On the work session, on the zoning docket, on the day council meeting, you speak directly on the issue and the concern that we're getting ready to vote on. Public comments allows you to speak on whatever floats your boat that's happening in the city of Fort Worth. And so those are 15 meetings a year. I encourage you to use those times as adequate and proper as needed. I will also encourage this council that as we continue to move forward, when our city is in an uproar, that we continue to have these special call meetings and make sure that we hear our constituents. And I don't know if this is the first time ever, but I think everyone on this dais have had a town hall meeting and have had frequent town hall meetings. And so we come from amongst this episcopal dais and go into the community and have a sit-down conversation with you individually. And so I want to take the opportunity to thank this council for your work and listen to our constituents. I'm still proposing that we have comments every week. Those are my comments.
Councilmember Williams? I'm sorry, Gina, go ahead.
I'll be voting to support and maintain the schedule as is. I don't know anybody other than Don and Wanda who might recall council meetings used to be at 10 a.m. in the morning. Work session was at 8:30. When people had matters of business to deal with the city, they made it here. We changed, allowing for nighttime meetings, but what was so inspiring for me was when we got a new mayor who understood we needed to make sure that we were not only governing, but also educating. And so we have opportunities right now for kids to come from school to learn how government works. That's very important to me as we try to grow new leaders. What happened during the summer when George Floyd was murdered, we saw a lack of civility nationwide, and rightly so. The people have a right to protest. But the reality of it is, for me, if I know what you're going to say before you're saying it, you're not informing me of anything. You're taking advantage of 3 minutes to get cable TV time. Let's just be real. I promise you, people, when they have a matter to bring before this body, they get here. And so I am proud to keep this schedule as it is, even though from time to time, we still get people who come, and to use Councilman Nettles' words, they clown. We're able to tell the students that is really not the way you get things done. We want people to know how to engage in governance. And you don't do that by charades or games or insults. You do that by talking among each other, taking a vote, walking away, a winner, a loser, but walking away with dignity. And so I will be supporting that we keep the schedule. And I encourage a majority of this council to do the same.
Councilmember Williams?
Oops.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll be supporting the schedule as well. I just wanted to give some context to folks who may not be as familiar with this process. While, I will always support public comment during meetings like this, I also want to just give context that our staff engages regularly with our constituencies. I say this all the time, the seat isn't Jared Williams' seat. This is all of our seat. And so because of that, we have a responsibility to engage our constituencies and more than just on Tuesday nights and mornings. And so, every Tuesday we get a comment card of anyone who signs up to speak. In our District 6 staff, if you're in District 6, raise your hand, Carmen, Davia, William. They call everyone on that call sheet. Not only do we do that, we also get a call log every day of many constituent requests that are reported to the city. Those three folks, including me as well, call every one of those numbers and ask folks about what are the issues they're experiencing, and we help them navigate the city. Not only do we do that, we also have listening circles on specific issues that neighborhoods are facing, which is a meeting specifically on that topic. We bring city staff to the meeting, and I can go on and on and on about the many ways that we engage our neighbors. And so while the 3 minutes of public comment is important, we also encourage our residents to engage with our office directly. 9 times out of 10, when we call constituents who are on the comment card for Tuesday, we get their problem fixed. They don't have to spend time driving to the city of Fort Worth. Everyone in the space saves 3 minutes, and we can continue conducting the business of the city in a decent and orderly fashion. And so for those of you who are not aware of that process, I wanted to lay that out because it's more than just showing up on Tuesday nights, which is important. It's also about engaging the council offices directly. We know that we will always do our part in reaching out to you, and we know there's a need to make sure that we do everything we can with this seat to address the issues that you face.
And council? If not, I've got a motion and a second. Please vote. Adrian, just don't speak from the audience. I'm sure you're on the list again to speak at some point this evening. Motion carries.
Next item is 24-4573.
Motion and a second, please vote. Motion carries.
Next item is MNC 24-0879 with report by Cherie Gordon.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Cherie Gordon, Economic Development Coordinator, Economic Development. The purpose of this hearing is to receive public comment regarding the designation of tax abatement reinvestment zone number 112. The legal description of the site is attached to MNC 240879, and a map of the zone is displayed on the monitors. The proposed tax abatement reinvestment zone number 112 is located on approximately a 22-acre site at 4900 Blue Mound Road in Fort Worth, Texas. The City of Fort Worth wishes to support new investment in business activity, in particular to support the expansion of the Americold Realty Trust, Inc. site at Fort Worth. To facilitate the project, the City of Fort Worth wishes to enter into a tax abatement agreement with the company based on a portion of the incremental value of real and business personal property at the project site. Today's City Council agenda also includes the companion tax abatement agreement, which will be considered as a separate action under MNC 24-0880, subsequent to this public hearing. In accordance with state law, notice of this hearing has been published in the Star-Telegram, a newspaper of general circulation within the City of Fort Worth, and notice has been given to each of the taxing entities that levy taxes on this property. Following public comments, staff recommends closing the public hearing and approving MNC 24-0879, which includes the following: finding that the improvements are feasible and practical and would be a benefit to the land to be included in tax abatement reinvestment zone number 112 and to the city after expiration of any tax abatement agreements, and adoption of an ordinance designating tax abatement reinvestment zone number 112. Adoption of the ordinance, attached ordinance, does not obligate the City Council to approve the tax abatement agreement.
Thank you, Cherie. Any questions, council? Thank you. Councilmember Flores?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Of course, cold storage needs have increased during the pandemic. They continue to increase as we go forward, especially as e-commerce comes more onto the scene. So I vote to close the public hearing and support this motion.
Thank you. Council, motion and a second. Please vote. Motion carries.
Next item is MNC 24-0880.
Entertain a motion, council. A motion and a second. Please vote. Motion carries, council.
Next item is MNC 24-0881 with report by Cherie Gordon.
Cherie.
Thank you. The purpose of this hearing is to receive public comment regarding the designation of tax abatement reinvestment zone number 111. The legal description of the site is attached to MNC 24-0881, and a map of the zone is displayed on the monitors. The proposed tax abatement reinvestment zone number 111 is located on an approximately 15.836 acre greenfield site in proximity to the Perot Field Fort Worth Alliance Airport in Fort Worth, Texas. The City of Fort Worth wishes to support new investment in business activity, and in particular to support the expansion of Embraer Aircraft Maintenance Services, LLC, to the site in Fort Worth. To facilitate the project, the City of Fort Worth wishes to enter into a tax abatement agreement with the company based on a portion of the real and business personal property at the project site. Today's City Council agenda also includes the companion tax abatement agreement, which is considered as a separate item under MNC 24-0882, subsequent to this public hearing. In accordance with state law, notice of this hearing has been published in the Star-Telegram, a newspaper of general circulation within the City of Fort Worth, and notice has been given to each of the taxing entities that levy taxes on this property. Following public comments, staff recommends closing the public hearing and approving M&C 24-0881, which includes the following: finding that the improvements are feasible and practical and would be a benefit to the land included in Tax Abatement Reinvestment Zone Number 111 and to the city after expiration of any tax abatement agreements, and adoption of an ordinance designating Tax Abatement Reinvestment Zone Number 111. Adoption of that attached ordinance does not obligate the city council to approve the tax abatement agreement.
Thank you, Cherie. Councilmember Blaylock?
Thank you, Cherie, for that. I am super excited to have Embraer coming to Fort Worth. They are the third largest aircraft manufacturer in the world, and I think this maintenance facility will be a great addition to our community. So I wholeheartedly motion to approve.
Well, any other discussion? If not, please vote. That's okay. Motion carries.
Council, with your permission, we will skip to page 18 for MNC 24-0882, which is the companion MNC for the item you just adopted.
Thank you, Jeanette. Councilmember Blaylock?
So again, thank you to Embraer for being here today. We appreciate you. I motion to approve.
Second, council. Any other discussion? If not, please vote. Motion carries with enthusiasm. Gentlemen, thank you very much for being here this evening. Congratulations. Welcome to Fort Worth.
That gets us back to page 13 and MNC 24-0883 with report by Michael Hennig.
Hi, Michael.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So I'm Michael Hennig. I'm representing the Economic Development Department this evening. The purpose of this hearing is to receive public comment regarding the extension of the term of Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone Number 3, commonly referred to as the Downtown TIF. The ordinance is attached to MNC 14-0883. The city desires to extend the term of the Downtown TIF to support additional projects that are necessary to the continued success of the district. In order for these projects to be implemented, staff recommends that the term of the Downtown TIF be extended for an additional 19 years. In accordance with state law, notice of this hearing has been published in the Fort Worth Star-Telegram at least 7 days prior to today's date. Following any public comments this evening, staff recommends closing the public hearing and adopting MNC 14-0883 and the attached ordinance, thereby extending the term of Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone Number 3.
Thank you, Michael. Councilmember Beck?
I move to close the public hearing, remove all references to amending the project and financing plan, and approve MNC 24-0883 to adopt the ordinance and extend the TIF with the current project and financing plan remaining in place until amended. Staff will bring forward an updated plan for separate council consideration at a future date.
Second.
Motion and a second, council. Any other discussion? If not, please vote. Oh, Jeanette's away. Yeah, good. Thank you. Motion carries. Thank you, Michael.
Next item is SP-24-010.
Thank you. And council, before we enter into zoning items, I know we have a few continuances by council members tonight. I'll try to remember who's what, but if you just don't remind me, because you may want us to have comments before public comment to keep things moving, just as a reminder. Thank you, Councilmember Beck. Okay, thank you. So our first up is Council District 6, and our speaker, only if there's opposition, which to my knowledge there is none, is Thomas Bartkowski.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I've met with staff and the applicant on this one. This one still needs more time, and staff is going to work with them over the next 30 days, so I'm continuing it for another 30.
Thank you. With that, I'll entertain a motion. Okay, motion and a second, please vote. And motion to continue carries.
Next is ZC-24-026.
Councilmember Martinez, we have one speaker on this item, Cynthia Brink.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. Thank you for allowing me to make these comments tonight. As an Eastern Hills resident and member of the Neighborhood Association in Eastern Hills, I ask you to please follow through with the recommended denial of the zoning change from ER to FR. This is for 1405 and 1409 Weiler Boulevard. Our community needs businesses that enhance and support unmet needs in a clean, quiet, and attractive way, and the proposed zoning change does not align with these goals. Within a 2-mile radius, according to Google, there are more than 28 auto-related businesses. Do we really need more? By comparison, within the same area, there are just 1 supermarket and 4 small grocery stores selling fresh produce, 5 coffee shops, if you include the Starbucks and the Albertsons and the McDonald's, 4 restaurants that serve breakfast, if you include the Whataburger and the McDonald's, and 20 restaurants if you count takeout. In addition, the 1405 and 1409 Weiler lie within a residential neighborhood, across the street from a multifamily apartment complex and next door to townhouses. Another dirty, noisy auto repair business does not belong here. We as Eastern Hills Neighborhood Association would support a number of businesses that fit the current zoning. The following would be appropriate to the location, helpful to the community, and enhance quality of life in the neighborhood. It could be a restaurant or deli, a grocery store, laundry or dry cleaning, coffee shop, bakery, medical office, community health center, insurance office, childcare, a gym, the list goes on. We ask you to please support zoning that supports the character and livability of our neighborhood. Thank you for your time, your consideration, and your service to the city.
Thank you, Ms. Brink. Councilmember Martinez, it's the last of our speakers on this item.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Cynthia, for coming down and speaking this evening. I am going to vote in line with staff and with the Zoning Commission and motion to deny with prejudice.
Motion and a second, please vote. And motion carries.
Next item is ZC-24-063.
Councilmember Martinez, we have a few speakers on this item. Our first is Phyllis Allen.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak to you about this. This is something that concerns not only me, but my entire neighborhood. As president of the United Riverside Neighborhood Association, my responsibility is to be the voice for my neighborhood, and their responsibility is to come and support me, and they have. This is an extremely significant item for our neighborhood. We have a developer who is asking to build $350,000 railroad flats in our neighborhood. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with what a railroad flat is, in the early part of the 19th and 20th century, in big cities like New York, there were houses or apartment buildings that had railroads that literally ran almost within the person's bedroom. And that is what this developer is asking to do. He is asking to reduce the 25-foot setback from the railroad tracks to 10 feet. 10 feet from a residence for a railroad is unacceptable, because not only is he asking for this setback, but it is at the switch. And if anybody is familiar with railroads, most of the problems that happen will happen at the switch. If there is a problem there at that switch with a 10-foot setback, I don't want to be there. Because I have a 25-foot setback from my house, and if something and I'm only probably 100 yards from the switch, and if something happens, I don't want to be home. But I certainly would not want to be there with only 10 feet. This is dangerous, and it doesn't fit the comprehensive plan that we worked so diligently on and only signed on June 4th, 2019. I am asking you to please support zoning's recommendation to deny. Oh, I have 1 minute. Thank you.
Councilman Martinez, additional speakers, Robin Kelly.
Good evening. My name's Robin Kelly, and in the spirit of election, in the spirit of democracy, and in the spirit of civic responsibility, I'd like to take a slant in my voice against this zoning. I'd like to focus on we, the people. The original intent of we, the people, were white, male, landholder. But the Constitution then goes on to say, in order to form a more perfect union, and we started to do that with the passing of the 13th Amendment, abolishing slavery, the 14th Amendment, granting citizenship. The 15th Amendment prohibits the federal government and states from denying a citizen's right to vote based on race, color, or previous conditions of servitude. And of course, the 19th Amendment, women's right to vote. And we continued along this journey to have a more perfect union with Civil Rights Acts of 1964, 1965, and 1968. And in that same spirit, in that same vein, we, the United Riverside Neighborhood Association, we have written a vision. And that vision was a comprehensive plan. And we made it plain, single family zoning, and we ask that you listen. We've told zoning, we've told everybody else we don't like this, safety, density, etc. So I only end with this. Imagine what will happen when we includes all of we the people. Will you please listen to the United Riverside Association and vote against item 24-063. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Kelly. Councilmember Martinez, it's the last of our speakers.
Thank you, Mayor. I was told that the developer has requested a continuation. I know Mr. Wong is here. Mr. Wong, could you tell us a little bit about the project, an overview, and why you're asking for this continuance?
Good evening. I appreciate the opportunity, Mayor and Council members. I have registered online to speak. I have submitted a presentation. I'd be happy to skip it, but I would like to ask for a 30-day extension or postponement to November the 12th in order to give us more time to have more discussion with the local community. The presentation is in front of you. It's about 5 slides. There are pictures that I can go through pretty quickly. I will follow your lead, whatever you decide.
That'd be fine unless you want
discussion, and you would also consider changes to that project?
Whatever it takes to hold a compromise with the neighborhood, to lessen their concerns, and any misconceptions. For example, one of the things that was mentioned is a setback is not from the railroad, it's from Paradise Street. We have 2 rows of townhomes. They're not railroad flats. And they consider a single-family home as indicated by the staff report that they've submitted to the commission and the council. So 2 rows are townhomes that parallel to a railroad track. 1 row is closest to existing single-family home that is set back 25 feet. But the but the road is closer to the railroad, which is still a long way from the track itself, is reduced to the 10 feet from Paradise Street, not from the railroad track.
Okay, Mr. Wong, I'm going to trust that you do what you say you're going to do and meet with the community and be ready to make significant changes. With that, I motion to continue to motion to continue ZC 24063 to November 12th.
Please vote. Oh, Chris is not here, sorry. Stepped out. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is ZC-24-073.
Councilmember Flores, we have one speaker on this item, Kyle Polson.
Mayor, City Council, my name's Kyle Polson. I live at 4132 Idlewild Drive. We bought this property and working with the Espinosas, who are right there, to create a shop and their house. It's between Bell and Adam. I've worked with Councilman Flores and the neighborhood associations and appreciate y'all considering approval.
Councilmember Flores.
I just want to show my appreciation, Kyle, for, outreaching to the neighborhood association. I did, speak with them again subsequently. And again, they had no issues, with the proposed use. As you know, topography on this property makes it extremely difficult to develop it as a single family, as it's been for decades. Nothing has happened there. The PD, allows, assurances for the community that the uses will be as described. And staff will make an amendment to the comp plan to show alignment with it and consistency. So with that, I move for approval.
Motion is second.
One quick thing, just a special thanks to Brett Mangum and staff. Helping the Espinosas, this hadn't been easy, but they're very patient in getting us through it.
Thank you for saying that. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Council, we have a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion carries.
Next is ZC-24-075.
Councilmember Beck, this one's item is yours, but I believe you're continuing. Is that correct? Correct. Okay. I do have speakers. If they're here and they want to speak, I can't stop them from doing so, but it looks like this case is continued. Logan Ellis. Okay. James Curie. And then Michael Klinger, excuse me. Okay. Councilmember Beck.
So I move to continue this, zoning case to the October 29th meeting.
Please vote. Motion to continue passes.
Next item is ZC-24-079.
Councilmember Flores, we have one speaker on this item only if there's opposition, and to my knowledge, there is none. Alicia Watson. Okay. Okay, try again.
Okay, looks like we got it back. Okay, I don't know if Ms. Watson's here tonight.
No, since there was no opposition, she didn't want
I
to.
don't see her. I did invite her to say if she wanted to come by, but had extensive conversations with her. She's had good conversations with the church where she wants to do this daycare and their extra facility there, and we arrived at a good conclusion, so move for approval.
Second.
Motion and a second, council. Please vote. Try Charlie and Alan, try again. There we go. Motion carries.
Next item is ZC-24-084.
Councilmember Nettles, we only have one speaker on this item, Cooper Conger.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Cooper Conger. I'm the owner of New Pad Building Company. We build quality and affordable infill houses and duplexes in the Fort Worth area. We have built about 20 houses, 20 infill houses similar to this project I'm proposing over the last year around Fort Worth in this area, historic South Side and infill areas similar to this. Most of these houses are sold to owner-occupant buyers, and so we know there's a great demand for this in this city, this type of affordable home ownership that we are providing. This specific project is located right next to in an existing residential subdivision. It's an infill lot on an existing street with existing water and sewer infrastructure, and so that we're fulfilling a goal of the comp plan to develop these infill lots with existing infrastructure. Furthermore, on the comp plan, it is the comprehensive plan for the future of this property is mixed use, which calls for a mix of commercial, retail, and residential uses that we will provide on this vacant infill lot. And with that, if you all have any questions, I'm open to them.
Thank you. Councilmember Nettles is the last first speakers on this item.
Yes, thank you. It was great meeting you the other day. I am going to make a motion today. I really have a couple of concerns with staff recommendation for denial, as well as providing information for the zoning case. On this lot, I know it has it for commercial, but the city of Fort Worth owned 2 lots, 3 houses up the next door, lot 1008 and lot 1012, which was owned by the Fort Worth Housing Corporation. Those lots were recently sold and houses were built on them. And so I'm concerned of why we, the city of Fort Worth, trying to deny this case when we recently sold those lots for housing. So I want us to look into that. But I'm going to motion to approve this case. I just want to put that on record. Thank you.
Second, Councilmember Nettles. Please vote. Councilmember Williams, try again. Motion carries.
Next item is ZC-24-090.
Mr. Conger, you're up again. Oh, I'm sorry, 090. I apologize. You're not up. Councilmember Beck, I think you continuing this one as well.
I am. I'm going to move to continue this case to the November 12th meeting.
Motion is second. Please vote. Motion carries.
Next item is ZC-24-095.
Cooper Conger is our only speaker on this item. Councilmember Nettles.
Move to approve.
Motion and a second. Please vote. Councilmember Beck's away from her seat. Motion approved.
Next item is ZC-24-097.
Councilmember Nettles, we have one speaker only. There's opposition on this item. Brandon Middleton. Is Brandon here? Yeah.
Move to approve.
Vote. Please.
Next item is ZC-24-101.
Councilmember Martinez, we have 2 speakers on this item. The first is Wanda Conlon, who will be followed by Cindy Bowling.
I'm Wanda Conlon, 1755 Martell Avenue in District 11. I'm not speaking tonight for myself. I came to speak for East Fort Worth Business Association. We're a 50-year-old organization which has been involved in advocating for East Fort Worth for 50 years now. And we have a 15-member board elected by the membership. And on October the 10th, our board met and we discussed this case, and out of 15 people, 13 were there, and they voted to ask that this application before you be denied. As you heard from the lady from Eastern Hills, we are overwhelmed in East Fort Worth with car lots. They're everywhere. East Fort Worth seems like we get them all. East Lancaster is looking forward to redevelopment with the large amount of money that Michael Morris managed to piece together for us to have for rehabilitation of that corridor. So I'm asking tonight that you deny with prejudice this case. Thank you for your time. And on a personal note, I want to tell you how much I appreciate what you do for the city of Fort Worth.
Thank you, Ms. Conlon. Our next speaker is Ms. Cindy Bowling.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. You all are wonderful, truly, and patient. My name is Cindy Bowling. I'm president of Central Meadowbrook Neighborhood Association, and I live in District 11. Central Meadowbrook Neighborhood Association joins with West Meadowbrook Neighborhood Association in opposition to this application for zoning change at 3510 East Lancaster. Just 2 years ago, this applicant made the same request for zoning change and it was denied. And we ask that you deny this application with prejudice. At the zone, I'm gonna skip a lot of this. We don't need it. I'd like to have council know that this request to deny the zoning change is coming from citizens. It's coming from citizens who are affected by this application, citizens who have lived in the neighborhood for a long, long time, decades. And we simply do not need another mechanic shop and salvage car, auto repair, rezone, used car lot, okay? We have so many of them, and it's important to us that you all are cognizant of our East Lancaster corridor is being revitalized. It's being renewed, and we have a $65 million project being built right now. And we're excited about it, and we have enough auto mechanic shops. And the owners of the land, they're nice, from what I gather, they're nice people, but this is not the place for another auto place. So again, we ask that you deny this application with prejudice. And like Wanda did, I'm going to take a moment to tell you all, citizens have an opportunity to speak. I'm speaking. I can speak every single week to you all, and I know you know this. I'm saying it for the public, and I appreciate what you do. There's a lot that you're not thanked for, and you give up your time to do this. And I am here speaking as everyone else was here speaking. So thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Mayor and council, as you've heard from Wanda and Cindy, I can attest that we have way too many car lots and shops on Lancaster and really throughout District 11. You think about 28th Street and Hemp Hill. And so I'm going to vote in line with staff and zoning commission and motion to deny with prejudice.
Motion and a second, please vote. And carries.
Next item is ZC-24-104.
Speakers on this item, Councilmember Larsdorf.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Since we already spent 18 long minutes listening to folks tell us we don't listen to folks, I'll keep my remarks short. This is really, I just want to say thank you to staff for all the hard work they put into this. This all came from the hotel debacle. And this is just one step we're taking to fulfill the promises of helping protect the neighborhoods in close proximity to the schools. So again, staff, thank you so much for all your hard work on this. You are the real heroes here. So with that, I move to approve.
Second. Let's vote. isn't here either. Councilmember Williams is not, there he is. Can you vote really quick, Jared? Thank you. Motion carries.
Next item is ZC-24-106.
Councilmember Crane, we have no speakers on this item.
Yeah, I just want to point out, this sounds very onerous, but this is the Montessori School of Fort Worth. I don't see Amy Henderson here, but the rezoning here will allow them to expand. It's a jewel over on the west side near Ridgely Hills, and so I move to approve.
Motion a second, please vote. Motion carries.
Next item is SP-24-014.
Councilmember Larsdorf, we have two speakers on this item only if there's opposition, and there, to my knowledge, there is none.
Move to approve.
Motion and a second, please vote. Motion carries.
Next item is ZC-24-081.
Councilmember Crane, we have one speaker on this item, Michael Bennett.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you again for what you do. I want to say I don't need to speak on this. I'm only here if there's opposition, but want to thank Councilmember Crane for his work with the neighborhood and thank the neighborhood and my client for coming together to do the right thing. So thank you all very much. Any questions, happy to answer.
No questions. Thank you very much. This is the golf course at Lost Creek, which has been a thorn in my side since I started working for my predecessor. And we've gone through many iterations of what could be there. And the developers come through and has done some great work there, worked with the community. So I want to say thank you to them. Thank you for you. You don't have any renderings, but I know the building's going to be beautiful that they're putting out there and really will be an asset to the community. So thank you again for all the work. And with that, I move to approve.
Got a motion and a second, council. Please vote. Please.
Next item is ZC-24-124.
Mayor Pro Tem Bivens, we do have quite a few speakers on this item, but it's my knowledge you're going to continue this.
You'll hear the speakers.
Our first speaker is Mary Margaret Lemons by phone. Next would be Mary Nell Poole.
Actually, Mary Margaret said since it was going to be continued, she did not need to be called.
Okay, Mary Nell Poole, followed by Karen A. Spradlin. Sure.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, thank you.
I have a very low voice, so I'll try and project. Excited to be here tonight. We're talking about some land in Stop 6 tonight, and I wanted to give some references to where we're at. So I'm Karen A. Spradlin. I live at A38 West Bedford Euless Road, but I'm here on behalf of Child Care Associates. I am their CFO, and I, as of tomorrow, will be their CFO as of 9 years, so excited to be here about that. Child Care Associates was started in 1968 and has been in the community for 56 years. Of those 56 years, we have delivered lots of child care and early education. But I want to remind you of two things that Child Care Associates does. We do delivery of direct child care associate, like of children in child care, but we also do support for other child care businesses in the area. And so we support other child care businesses through provider payments through the CCMS program. And we also do quality program, like quality dollars to them. So we're supporting both child care direct delivery and also the providers in the area as well. Some other things that I'd want to point out is that I've submitted some information from the city of Forest Hill and their support for this program, and the mayor, she's in the field out here, and then also for Stop 6 neighborhood community, they're here as well with the pastor. And so we've had a lot of support on this from the other community members. The other thing I want to point out, I took a drive by it today because I wanted to be like really fresh on talking to you guys. And so I went by and spent about 45 minutes over there today just to really understand what some of the comments have been in opposition of this. And so one of them was that that the noise and traffic would be. So if you really looked at this piece of land, it's set back. And so on Ramey, it's a 2-acre piece of lot. And where the church sits itself, it's probably about a half an acre in. The building would also sit that far in. And then a component of what we're looking at is it's going to need a parking lot. And so with the church that's next door, we'll work with them on building a parking lot. It's going to provide a 2-for-1. So not only will the childcare facility have a parking lot, but so will the church, and they'll get to use that in partnership. We're good neighbors. We are always good neighbors. We've been working in the community for a long time, and we continue to be good neighbors, and we will continue to do that. The last thing I kind of want to point out is time is of the essence. If we do not start moving forward, we're going to lose this money. We have to have this obligated by December 31st of 2024. I'll call it 12 o'clock, 59 p.m. If we don't start moving forward, Stop 6 is going to lose this $5 million investment that the city has entrusted us in doing. And so I hope to move forward with it.
Thank you,
Questions,
Karen.
let us know.
Thank you. Our next speaker will be Mary Nell Poole, followed by Lisa McDaniels. I think she'd like you to speak. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Mary, we have on the same dress.
Do we really? Coincidence here. See, we must be thinking alike then. Good evening, Council. Mary Nell Poole, Town Site 2918 Wingate here in Fort Worth. I'm here this evening representing Child Care Associates, who is requesting a conditional use permit to develop a child care studio that will provide early Head Start and Head Start services to children in Stop 6. Daycare centers are only allowable in commercial and industrial categories, so a CUP is required for them to be able to operate in this location. CCA was awarded $5 million in ARP funds from the city to develop this project, and council approved an M&C back in June to move this facility from the Stop 6 hub to another location. As a partner of Fort Worth Housing Solutions, CCA was able to secure 2 lots, 5033 and 5105 Ramey Avenue, which is centrally located within the Stop 6 community and part of the HUD Choice Neighborhood Transformation Plan. This property is just under 3 acres and provides the opportunity for the children to enjoy a natural playscape and explore the wonder of outdoor learning experience. This property is adjacent to 5 churches within 2 blocks along Ramey in either direction. Maud Logan Elementary School is within the block. The Boys and Girls School is 2 blocks away and adjacent to single-family homes and vacant lots. A child care facility would be a complementary use. We are asking to separate the required site plan for the project from the zoning case and only approve this evening the use of the site as a child care center. CCA is under a tight timeline, as you just heard, to obligate the funds. This will bring CCA back to the Zoning Commission and the City Council with a site plan to be approved that will address traffic, buffering, and design. CCA is committed to working with the adjacent neighbors, churches, and other stakeholders to ensure the project integrates into the neighborhood and maintains a safe environment for both the children and the community. You have a support letter from the Stop 6 Neighborhood Association and a petition from residents in the Stop 6 area. However, we have received or became aware late in the process that not all of our neighbors were aware of the project. Though the opposition said they had did not have a problem with a child care facility, they were concerned about traffic and noise. We heard from the Fort Worth Housing Authority officials at the hearing that 2 major traffic projects are already in the works for Ramey Avenue at the Boys and Girls Center and at Ramey and Stall Cup. That puts $1.6 million that is going into traffic calming and safety for crossing and maneuvering down Ramey Avenue. Also, daycare centers typically don't cause a lot of traffic due to their hours, which are 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., and their staggered pattern of bringing children. I would respectfully ask for your approval. Thank you. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Our next speaker is Lisa McDaniels, followed by Nicole Brown. Is Lisa here? No. Nicole Brown, is Ms. Brown present? No. Councilmember Bivens, that's the last of our speakers on this item for this evening.
Thank you. I am going to be making a motion to continue this case, but I do need to call up the president of the Stop 6 Neighborhood Association. It's important that the public realizes when you go through a zoning change request, somebody is going to lose, someone might win, but the process itself has to be pure, and that's what's important to me. When I heard the comments from the people who spoke, it was a very great concern for me, especially the church. And after speaking with Pastor Moore throughout the day, and you are the president who both speakers have referenced, can you tell me what your geographic members are saying, because you are the president of that area? What are you hearing?
Mayor and Council and Pro Tem Bivens, I too was in communication with Child Care and Associates, and at the time that we signed the letter or submitted it, I was thinking that the issue between the community and the association had been resolved. Then I started getting some calls about the smaller daycare centers concerned about being put out of business. And so I started trying to get them to talk with Mr. Rankins about how can Child Care and Associates help to ensure that the smaller businesses that operate out of the Stop 6 community, that do more than just take care of kids, they also do coat drives, they feed the children, they provide them with medicine, so they do a lot more than just take care of kids. So I wanted to find out how we could have my right hand and my left hand. I want them both. And so how do we help them, but how do we save small businesses at the same time?
I want to thank you for clarifying your position, and you can take your seat now.
Okay.
I don't want to call on the former zoning chair to speak, but I will tell you, during a meeting in Stop 6 2 months ago, Mr. Rankin, Fernando Costa and I both urged you to start the process of community engagement because we knew this day was coming. And so tonight I hear from speakers saying time is of the essence, time is of the essence. I don't know how you conducted community outreach, but I did tell Kara that I was concerned because I wasn't hearing that the community was being talked to about zoning. What they remember from your comments dealt on the political wing, which had no bearing on this. Whatever the outcome is, Child Care and Associates needs to know I support what you want to do. You have a good name. But I could not have my community left in limbo right now. And I think we have time, but you're still going to have to do the outreach. And so when people come and they testify one way, and after the meeting, they have a conversation in the hallway, and they're left confused, we need to be sure that that outreach is taking place. I want to continue this case, but I want to make sure you know how to get with staff who you've worked with as zoning chair to do the appropriate outreach. The people who showed up at the zoning commission told you, I heard them on tape, that they only had 1 day's notice. If the outreach had been taking place, they would have known to look forward to this. And so I've received several calls today letting me know that we just don't know what's true and what's not. So I want to work with you, but I need you to do what you know to do, which is to talk to the people. I saw people signed up from places outside of Fort Worth. I am concerned about the people who will be directly impacted, because when you get zoning wrong, you get it wrong. I think there are some assurances that you guys gave verbally in the hallway last week. Those need to be formalized when letters, I don't care if it's an email, but I'm going to give you until November, I think it's the 12th. Jeanette is, the other Jeanette, okay. I want to give you enough time to do what I know you know how to do. And so it's important that people know why you're meeting with them so that they don't ask me, well, what do they want? And you can call my office, but I encourage you, staff will tell you how to go about outreach if you need a refresher course. And so with that, I'm moving to continue this case until November 12th to give you time to do what I call respectful and appropriate outreach, and that's my motion.
Got a motion on the floor, council?
Mayor, also an abundance of caution, due to my wife's employment at Child Care Associates, I'll be refraining from this vote.
Thank you, Michael. Can I get a second, council? Any other discussion on this item? I just want to be really clear and on the record how much respect I have for Child Care Associates and the work you do across the city of Fort Worth and Tarrant County. I'll reiterate the remarks that Councilmember Bivens already made, that I have full confidence you'll be able to gain the respect and rapport and excitement from your community members. I heard two issues that are very different. The first is small business support for other child care providers. And I've seen you work hand in hand along providers that are small businesses and actually make them better and stronger and be able to serve more students. So I hope we can do that in this case. And second, on traffic issues and concerns, that onerous is not just on the applicant, that also is on the city of Fort Worth. In reading the zoning application and the staff recommendation, it was very clear to me staff does not have concerns. If there is a concern, speak now or forever hold your peace, or make sure TPW is working alongside the applicant and those landowners. This is a huge transformative project, not just for Stop 6, but also for the city of Fort Worth. And I trust that in the next month, we can get to an approval process as needed. And if I can be of assistance, I will do so and work alongside Mayor Pro Tem Bivens to assuage the concerns of the community. So thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. With that, council, please vote. Motion carries.
Next item is MNC 24-0872.
We have no speakers on this item, council. Entertain a motion. Second. Motion and a second. Please vote. Chris Harder, no outcry of support and excitement from you? Yay. It's about all you get from Chris. Motion carries.
Next item is MNC 24-0878.
Move to.
Thank you.
Yeah,
No,
move to
that's
approve.
Motion, a second, another exciting item. Thank you.
Richard.
Richie, he's not paying attention.
Richard, wake up.
Motion carries.
Next item is MNC 24-0918.
Motion, a second, please vote. Motion carries.
Next item is MNC 24-0908.
Thank you. Motion, a second, please vote. Motion carries.
Next item is MNC 24-0855.
Entertain a motion on this one, council. Thank you. Motion, a second, please vote. Motion carries.
Next item is MNC 24-0858.
Motion, a second, please vote. Motion carries. Yes.
Next item is MNC 24-0887.
Motion, a second, please vote. Motion carries.
Next item is MNC 24-0890.
Councilmember Martinez. Motion, a second, please vote. Motion carries.
Next item is M&C 24-0898.
Motion and a second, please vote. Motion carries.
Next item is M&C 24-0899.
Motion and a second, please vote. Motion carries.
Next item is M&C 24-0901.
Got a motion and a second, council, please vote. Motion carries. Oh, I'm sorry, it doesn't, because I didn't vote yet. There we go. Yeah.
Next item is M&C 24-0915.
Please vote. Oh, try again, Macy. That's okay. Motion carries. Thank you.
Mayor, I believe that concludes all of the action items.
Thank you, council. We're going to close tonight's meeting in honor of Miss Tanisha Brewer-Jones, who we laid to rest this Saturday. For those that have the pleasure of knowing Tanisha, I'm sorry for you. She was quite a lady, an amazing employee for the city of Fort Worth, a mom, a wife, a cousin, a friend, and she had a beautiful ceremony on Saturday to honor her life. It really was a celebration, even though we were all quite sad. I want to thank our council members for attending, and for city staff, and of course for Councilmember Nettles for also joining us at the service. Just as a reminder to take care of yourselves and take care of your loved ones, especially city employees who give everything of themselves to this job. Tanisha certainly did that. So live a little bit more like Tanisha. How about that? God bless she and her family. Thank you, and meeting is adjourned.